If you want to give whoever's color correcting your footage the absolute worst time of their lives, this is exactly what you do. I've got 6 cameras pointed at me from a mix of various different manufacturers, different models, different sensors. Some are shooting in a log profile, some are shooting in HLG. It's a hot mix of different color sciences and response curves, basically living hell if you need to color match these in post. But you say, hey, that's not my problem, that's my editor's problem. So you hand all this footage off to your editor and he quits. So now you have to do it yourself. You then go on YouTube and find this exact video and end up discovering Cinematch. You decide to give it a go and you apply Cinematch to your footage and bam! Color matching done. And you live happily ever after. If only this Cinematch thing actually existed, you say. Well, it is real. I wouldn't be making this video if it wasn't. In fact, I've been using its beta for about the past 3 months. Cinematch is a plugin for your editing software, and as of now, it's already available on Adobe Premiere and DaVinci Resolve, and there's also going to be an FCP 10 version coming soon, but we're talking about a dedicated tool used to color match one camera's footage to another camera's for you, and it really is as simple as I'm making it sound. Let's say, for example, I want to match this EOS R clip to my main camera, which is a Canon C200. I apply Cinematch to my EOS R angle and I tell Cinematch what camera and what profile are we dealing with. Then we dial in the camera we want to match it to, in this case, C200 C-Log 3. And done. My EOS R footage matches the C200, here it is before, and here's after. The plugin also has a bunch of secondary adjustments to help out when you need them, like exposure and color temperature for times when you maybe did not white balance your cameras when shooting, or to account for color shifts that are introduced by shooting with different lenses. And to really help with fine-tuning your color match, Cinematch also has a few false color overlays built in, like this one here that highlights middle gray in green, which is extremely helpful if you've shot a color checker and you want to make sure your middle grays are at 50 IRE. There's also temperature and tint overlays to help you see where exactly is neutral. And there will also be some particularly tricky matches where Cinematch will get you very near, but if you pay close attention, for example, in this shot, we're trying to match Sony a7R III footage to a Canon C200. If you look over here, the greens in this potted plant here still show up a little differently. And for times like these, there is a solution built into Cinematch as well. There is a section for HSL adjustments, and most of the time, all you have to do is select the color that's not matching with the source eyedropper tool, and then select the target color from the camera you want to match your footage to. If necessary, you can also tweak the range and amplitude of the adjustments, and you can do it individually for the saturation and luminance values as well. Otherwise, it's an unbelievably simple process with Cinematch, and with these few simple tools, I was able to match all of these cameras with truly shocking efficiency. And just like the opening for this video, it would have been awfully difficult to get similar results if I wasn't using Cinematch. Also, a very special thanks to our friends over at Lens Library for helping out with the cameras. Only they could possibly have this many cameras. I also, out of curiosity, tried color matching these 2 clips here by hand to see 1, how much time would Cinematch have saved me, and 2, how are the results from Cinematch compared to my best efforts at color matching these 2 clips. And I would say, not too surprisingly, Cinematch was way faster than Match, and not only that, the results were also way more accurate from Cinematch. Because we are talking about a sensor matching tool here, the team behind Cinematch had to essentially study and profile every single sensor that the plugin supports and find out how to make it look like a different sensor. Not to mention the different picture profiles that might be processed into the images as well. In fact, you may already have heard of the people behind Cinematch. They are the same company who brought us Film Convert, the film emulation tool that works so well because that too is optimized on a sensor by sensor basis. But even on similar sensors, Cinematch might also come in handy. Say you shot your A camera in HLG, but for some reason you shot your B camera in S-Log 3 instead. And because on the Sony a7 III, both these profiles are supported by Cinematch, so it's a super simple fix if you need one to match the other. And they are really supporting a very wide range of cameras here. We're talking about Arri Alexas all the way to GoPros. You can look up their official website to find the latest updated list of cameras currently supported by Cinematch, and I'm really sure their team is working very hard on adding even more cameras to that list, but I think it's really good to see if your cameras are supported by the plugin before you consider getting it. You'll find most of the common cameras already in that list, which means I can do things like match my drone footage to an X-T3. And a tool like this, even though it is fairly new, I'm already beginning to feel that this would be an absolute essential for multicam workflows in NLEs like Premiere and also Final Cut when the FCP version of Cinematch eventually does come out. As for DaVinci Resolve, that is already an incredibly powerful color grading suite with a lot of advanced tools, but I think you can still take advantage of Cinematch and benefit from saving some time. For example, here I've got a graded clip in Resolve of my main camera, a Panasonic S1. My B camera is a Canon EOS R shooting C-Log, and because C-Log is quite different from V-Log, if I were to simply copy and paste a grade from my A camera over to the B camera, it looks awful. Now, if I match the EOS R to V-Log first using Cinematch, which I will do in this node here, that is now matched. Then I apply the same grade again, fine-tune the exposure, and do a bit of fine-tuning on the skin tones, particularly this qualifier here, just making some adjustments to it so it works for this particular more close-up framing. Boost the saturation a little bit, and bam, I just skipped the trouble of having to work on that clip again from scratch. This is really something that can quickly get you to the stage where you can begin your color grading process, and in that sense it's different from their Film Convert product, which is something you would use to finish off the look of your footage, and I would say that Film Convert is a tool for easing your creative process, and Cinematch is a tool that simplifies the technical process. You might also be wondering, how have professionals been color matching before Cinematch then? Is Cinematch the only way in existence to color match footage? Well, no, it is not the only way, but to me the existence of Cinematch is a big deal because it is probably the fastest, easiest, and most importantly the least tiring way to color match between cameras with the best results. It's exactly the kind of tool that saves you time and energy in post so that you can focus those more on other tasks. And also, if you are watching this before 30th November 2020, that means you've got a chance to grab Cinematch on their Black Friday sale that lasts a week. It's a 40% discount if you get it on Black Friday week, and I have a special link down below that you can get it from. It's honestly a piece of software easily worth the investment, so check them out. And also, here's some of my other videos to check out as well. I pointed in completely the wrong direction. This side.